And now, live from the Steel Twins recording studio in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan, it's your hosts. I almost said boys. Here are your hosts, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins. What's up, everybody? It's Sunday afternoon, and you know what that means.
If one's not enough, how about two? A double dose of voice acting, baby.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, any opportunity we can have to bring this wonderful product to you, we will take every chance we get. So I'm going to go ahead and I forgot to load the browsers, but I'll tell you what. While I'm doing that, Package, do you want to just give us a quick recap about what's happening?
All right. So. I do intend to stream Metroid Prime Sunday later tonight, whether it be about 9 or 10 or so. I got all night. I don't even need to worry about going to bed early. So I'm going to bring you Metroid Prime Sunday later tonight. Star Fox 64 is on the docket for Nostalgic Monday. Don't you dare miss out on that. I may or may not bring you Legend of Zelda Tuesday, depending on what time I, get home from the job or whatever the case may be. Well, whatever I feel like streaming, I'm just gonna put it out there. So keep your eyes open on the Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen. And also, I want to talk to you guys about TwitchCon. One of the events on TwitchCon actually features voice acting, and you can bet your bottom dollar that we are all over that session on TwitchCon. Yeah,
absolutely. We're very much looking forward to. We're counting down the days to football season. We're counting down the days to TwitchCon. It's such an exciting time for everybody. And I'm gonna try to see if I can put more content out there myself. But I think I've got all my bells and whistles polished and tweaked and everything. So I do believe that we can just transition to my second favorite part of the show. You guys know the drill by now. If you have a capped to your bottle or a pin on your can, you go ahead and pull that pin back or twist that cap off.
With a twisty twist.
Hey, Cannon, what time is it?
It's time to get bombed.
With the bomb pop flavor. Cheers.
Cheers. America Pop.
And an incredibly sweaty glass. And
don't you worry, I wiped my bottle off.
Well, geez. Is that what we're calling it now? Sorry. Had to do it. Okay.
Lord, I apologize.
So last
live scene.
Oh yeah, that's right. See,
I'm keeping him in line, ladies and gentlemen. So yes. Don't you worry your head none.
Yeah, I'm the one that needs to worry his head. If I can keep it on straight, good Lord. So, when last we left our intrepid heroes, okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. So, Tyrion Cuthbert's been down in the dumps since he had his fallout with Ruby Tamora when she was dealing with crime lords and shit. Then a letter drops off. And basically, Garrick Pierce, of all people, has information leading to the real biological parents of Celeste McCoy in exchange for his freedom. He's looking to get that done. So
DNA. Just kidding.
Oh, DNA. Okay, that's actually pretty funny. Okay,
yeah, so I seriously got a DNA test waiting at the end of this game. Trust me.
Really? Well,
stay tuned, folks.
Yeah, I suppose so. Spoiler alert. Well, listen. If there was a part where you're trying to determine who your dad is, wouldn't there be a DNA test involved? I mean, I just didn't think we would have one, with you know, we probably have one with Ace Attorney. I can't see why we wouldn't have one in the magical world.
Well, it's a figure of speech. Let me tell you that.
Well, I mean, the DNA chant was funny nonetheless. So anyway, then, Aria Steelwind apparently emotionlessly and wordlessly completely annihilated a cathedral, burned one head of house to a crisp, threw another one in the water and drowned her, and killed Garrick Pierce with the very same method that was done in the first case of the game. So none of this stuff. People are like, "Oh, it's Mageblight," but that doesn't sound like a case of Mageblight. So now, Tyrion has been given the rights to defend Aria Steelwind in court, and Lucio Steelwind, her father, is going to be the prosecutor. Jeez. And if you want to know more, just visit the archives on YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel. We have previous copies of all of our live streams available, and and check out all of our old projects too. So, with that said, I think we only have one thing to say. What are we doing?
Time. Good news. The check cleared. It's go time.
I mean, sure.
Time to earn your bread, Tyrion Cuthbert.
Tyrion, we're definitely lost.
You followed Lord Steelwind's directions to the letter, but it appears you found yourself in the ruins of an old city rather than the estate of the Archduke.
I don't understand. This should be the place. The map even has that giant tree north of here.
This can't be the city of Ladon that Virgil mentioned. It doesn't look like anyone's lived there in centuries.
But Lord Steelwind's directions were pretty straightforward. So why are we... Wait a minute.
Did he give us the wrong location on purpose?
Please, what kind of dishonorable cretin do you take me for? Lord Steelwind, what are you two standing around here for? The trial will be starting shortly.
He's not alone either. He's flanked by a division of the Kingsguard and Aria. And it's difficult to tell if they're escorting her or keeping watch over her. You can see one of the knights channeling a spell over Aria. Must be an anti-magic field. Even now, she must still be worried about someone taking control of her mind.
Wait, this is where we'll be hosting the trial? Yes. The Archduke has always been sentimental about this place. And I doubt a normal courtroom would have enough space. What? I really don't know what possessed him to trust you. It's a miracle he's even taken part in this at all. But nevertheless, let's not keep him waiting.
Before you can ask him to elaborate, he walks past you and heads towards one of the central buildings. It's completely dilapidated.
Dilapidated.
It's completely dilapidated. You're a little worried it might collapse on you while you're in it. You look at the prosecutor and raise an eyebrow at her. But she merely shakes her head. It's clear she's just as lost as you are.
All right. I guess we're doing this.
The ruins are filled with everyone who was at the Grand Cathedral that day. And they all seem to be just as out of the loop as you are. The only person who seems to be unfazed by this entire situation is Lord Steelwind. He's taking his position at the opposite end of the room. It seems that he truly plans on prosecuting his daughter. Thank you all for coming here today. I appreciate your cooperation with our investigation.
Why have you brought us here?
It is filthy. It's calling with insects and vermin.
My apologies, but what happens here today must be kept under wraps for now. I had to choose a location that was away from modern civilization. But nevertheless, I welcome you all to my home.
Wait, you live here?
I do.
Your Grace, I knew you wouldn't bring us here unless you were completely certain. But I want to ask you one last time. Is this truly what you wish to do? There'll be no going back after this. What?
I've made many mistakes in my lifetime. I gave Witherguard the means to protect themselves, but all it did was warp them into something monstrous. I grew bitter seeing what I'd created, so I isolated myself from my people. I thought my best course of action would be to stay in seclusion and leave Witherguard to fend for themselves. I see now what a fool I was. I abandoned my kin to survive in an unjust world. And now foreign powers have ingrained themselves in my kingdom. All because of my negligence.
Well, jeez, oh Pete. So what is he talking about, foreign powers? I'm just cleaning off my glass here. Because, you know, it's all sweaty. The sweat is building and it's sweaty. But okay. This is already like, I'm already weirded out and it hasn't been 12 minutes. Foreign powers? Does he still suspect that I'm an agent of the theocracy?
Well, no more. It's time that the people of Witherguard and their enemies remember who watches over them. As he raises his hand, magic begins to swirl around him.
What's going on?
The entire room is violently shaking. Whatever he's casting, it's unlike any magic you've ever seen before. Blinding light envelops him, but you can faintly see his form changing.
Uh-oh.
It's expanding, and from it... Wait, is that...
A dragon? What?
It's a dragon.
As the Archduke assumes his true form, the gallery breaks out into hysteria. Some of them kneel in reverence to the ancient dragon, and some of them cower in absolute terror. We even see some of them attempt to flee before they're stopped by the Knights of the King's Guard.
Enough! This may not be a court, but I will have order.
You're an ancient dragon. No, you're the last ancient dragon.
That is correct, Heavensborn. I am the Lord of all lords. You all stand before Rathalion, the Scaled Lord.
What? What the heck is going on here? How could this possibly get any weirder? What the hell?
Remus Virgile is Rathalion, the Scaled Lord?
Bullshit. I knew that there was something off about that guy. Crazy. I've never seen... this is nuts.
Name Rathalion, the Scaled Lord.
Occupation, Scaled Lord.
Yep.
Remus Virgile is an alias I assume when I walk amongst your kind. But make no mistake, even in my human form, I have always had the strength of an ancient dragon. Until now, only lords of House Steelwind and the kings of Witherguard have known my true identity. But I will hide no longer. My will alone will determine how this trial ends.
I wonder if Rathalion is still alive, like you said.
I wouldn't be surprised. Despite everything, our kingdom's constitution still includes him in our government.
Wait, really?
As the savior of our kingdom, he was given an honorary position on our political hierarchy.
Yep, there's that word again.
Yeah, I got it right this time.
His authority technically rivals that of the king.
So that's why you're acting as the arbiter. You're the only person with the authority to convict any and all of the nobles here.
Make no mistake, Mr. Cuthbert. I will remain impartial regardless of what transpires here. I will not interfere in this trial, nor will I try to manipulate its outcome. I will only mediate its proceedings. and pass judgment when necessary.
Well, that's certainly terrifying.
Now then, with introductions out of the way, shall we proceed?
Of course, Your Grace. The prosecution is ready. The defense is also ready.
I'm sure we're all thoroughly aware of why we've gathered here, but for the sake of doing this properly, could you please list the charges, Lucio?
Of course. The defendant, Aria Steelwind, is charged with several counts of manslaughter. Her victims include many knights from the Kingsguard who are still unresponsive. And of course, there's Lloyd Van Sanctus and Coralian Sybil, the heads of House Van Sanctus and House Sybil respectively.
What is this farce?
This trial has been over before it began.
Lady Steelwind clearly overestimated herself. The child does have to be wary of Mageblight.
No, don't you see? This is Bahamut's judgment. The divine powers that be clearly think she is unfit to rule at the king's side. Might I remind the court of my own testimony? I witnessed Beatrice Frager enter the prayer room before I lost consciousness. Isn't it suspicious that this occurred around 15 minutes before Pierce's death? Objection. If I recall correctly, you only caught a glimpse of her. You don't know if it was someone else disguised in an illusion. It didn't even speak to her. That's all the more reason to call her to the stand to explain herself. She's already testified that she has no memories of what transpired during the massacre. There's no need to drag this out any longer than necessary, Cuthbert. My client has a right to a fair trial, and Beatrice Frager's involvement clearly implies some sort of foul play.
Enough! I find Mr. Cuthbert's request to be reasonable, and I agree that Lady Frager's actions are quite suspect.
Very well. Let the defense have his battle. Only hope for his sake that his blade strikes true. Why is everything a war metaphor with you?
First witness.
Beatrice?
I'm glad you're safe, Mr. Cuthbert.
Not for lack of trying on your part.
That wasn't... I have no memories of what I did.
There's that
thing again.
There's that blip again.
If I hurt you, I am truly sorry.
She actually looks pretty sincere, but it's not as if this is the first time she's lied to me. To be honest, I'm still a little doubtful about your memory loss.
But I'm not the only one who experienced it. Aria also has no memories of what happened.
And who would you know that?
Word travels around quickly in the dungeons.
What? Regardless, if you truly have no memories of what happened, could you testify about what you do remember? Perhaps there's a clue there. Perhaps there's a clue there we haven't discovered yet.
Very well.
All right, time for the witness testimony.
I was with my sisters and my guide, Eris Illmatter. I was speaking with them in the garden when I suddenly felt ill and lost consciousness. When I woke up, my sisters found me. They said that I had gone missing for over an hour.
Really?
I was confused, but when I later heard what happened, I realized that someone must have taken control of my body. I have no memories of what happened, and from what I understand, the same thing happened to Aria. To make matters worse, there's nothing that indicates who may have controlled our actions.
That's a lie.
So she's also saying that someone else was controlling her. Well, her testimony does match up with Aria's statement, something off about the way she's testifying. If she were trying to lie to me, she would have been a lot more vague. What is she doing?
Cross-examination time.
So let's see. Eris Illmatter, I was speaking with them in the garden when I suddenly fell ill. When I woke up, my sisters found me. They said that I had gone missing for over an hour. Well, here, can I press her on this just to find out what time that was? Held it. If they were with you, shouldn't your sisters have noticed this? According to Leif and Miriam, their pet dog was running amok in the hallways. They left the witness with Illmatter to chase him down. When the sisters returned to the garden, both Beatrice and Illmatter were gone. Do you remember anything after that?
No. I really want to remember, but I can't.
How's that blip again?
She certainly looks like she's telling the truth, but history shows that she's hardly trustworthy. Alright, so...
I'm just running over an hour, confused, later what happened, realized someone
secret my body. Let me think. Let me press her on it. I'm gonna try to figure this out. Held it. So you're also saying that someone else controlled your body?
Yes. It's the only explanation for why you saw me in the prayer room.
Objection. Absolutely ridiculous. Arcane magic is not capable of mind control. You're spinning a fairy tale to absolve yourself. I'm compelled to agree with him, so why do I feel like something's wrong?
Think what you will, but please believe me when I say I have no memories of what happened, and from what I understand, the same thing happened to Aria. To make things worse, there's nothing that indicates who may have controlled her actions.
Oh, there's something, all right.
All right, well, what something is that? Let me think about this. Aria's testimony. She did not cast any magic before she fell unconscious. Felt nauseous and went to the westward balcony. I'm going to try this.
Objection!
Objection! Your Grace, it's clear that the witness's testimony is contradictory, and this piece of evidence proves it.
I fail to see how that proves anything, Mr. Cuthbert.
Oh, I guess you're right. So, okay.
That's wrong.
All right.
What about the purple mark? You know the purple mark that Aria was questioning?
It's some sort of strange symbol. Aria Steelwind calls it the purple. Okay, so this is an opportunity to introduce the purple mark into the public record. Supposedly, this mark has been found. Oh, we have a. Maddie! Maddie! Thank you so much for making this dream. Okay, supposedly his mark is found at the scene of several gruesome murders throughout Wivengard. Aria felt she was getting closer to the truth when she regained consciousness after the massacre. She found a paper with the symbol in her pocket.
Objection!
Objection! Why would she say something like that? And again, hang on a second. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So, okay.
To make matters worse,
there's nothing that indicates who may have controlled our actions. Well, the thing that indicates who may have controlled their actions is that purple mark. Why would she say something like that? I found a contradiction, but it was almost like she gave it to me. Beatrice, you said there's no indication of who orchestrated this. But there is one piece of evidence that does just that, albeit loosely.
And what would that be?
This symbol.
you pull out the parchment with the purple mark on it and show it to her.
Mornath, what are you doing?
Yeah, because you saw how he, reacted, whoa! Yeah. What's wrong?
He's using our powers to suppress our connection.
His powers, but...
He's using his powers to suppress our connection. Magic?
I can't actually see what you're trying to show me.
Mornath, can you stop being petty and just let her see it?
I don't take orders from you, Heavensborn.
I wonder, Mr. Cuthbert, what is on that parchment?
You see, Beatrice, Aria has been investigating a string of murders throughout Wivengard. These murders appear to be unrelated, despite how gruesome they are, but they all share one thing in common. This symbol was found at each and every crime scene.
Objection!
Objection. Don't tell me I thought that has roped you into our little conspiracy theory. Your mind-controlled defense would be laughable if it weren't downright insulting. Lord Steelwind, during the gap in Aria's memory, someone placed this mark in her pocket. It was clearly some sort of taunt from whoever orchestrated this. Nonsense. She clearly drew that symbol herself during a psychotic episode. I've had to listen to her go on and on about her insane theory. She's obsessed with it.
Mr. Cuthbert, aren't you curious about what just happened?
What are you talking about?
Think about it. My apologies. I don't know why I said that.
Ah, that blip.
Is everything okay, Beatrice?
Yes, I'm perfectly fine. Anyways, it looks like you'll have to figure the rest out on your own.
Figure out the rest on my own? What do you mean by that? There's nothing to figure out. Your Grace, these two are making a mockery of us by spouting these insane theories. The defense clearly has no case. End this at once.
Considering what I know, I like to indulge this theory.
What? The judge is finally giving me a chance for once. That's a first. I shouldn't waste this opportunity. I've actually been noticing it for quite a while. Beatrice has been acting strangely since the trial began. It's suspicious, but not in the way that it seems to implicate her. It's almost like she's intentionally trying to make you realize something.
You realize something, but
Why don't I pull on this thread a little more? She just asked me if I was curious about what just happened. Not sure why she stopped herself when I asked for elaboration. What event was Beatrice referring to? But whatever she's trying to draw my attention to must be significant. So check it out. Mornath hid the purple mark from Beatrice. Mornath. He didn't allow Beatrice to see the purple mark. He'd only do that if Beatrice would recognize it normally. Why would Mornath interfere? Mornath is her familiar and he used to follow her orders. But things have clearly changed now that she belongs to the Empress of Discord. So why would a demon like Mornath interfere like this? Mornath
actually,
is...
no. The purple mark
Okay, wait, hold on. The purple mark
is related to a demon.
The purple mark must be related to a demon somehow. That's the only explanation as to why he would prevent her from seeing the mark. But Aria has been investigating murders throughout Wivengard. Does this mean that her investigation also has something to do with a demon? Aria suspected that each of the murderers was acting against their will. And now both Aria and Beatrice are also claiming they were controlled. How could something demonic control Beatrice? I can't explain what happened to Aria and these other individuals, but I do know why Beatrice might not have full control of her actions. You know,
Aria's...
No, I would say, okay, hang on. Beatrice, unveiled. How could something demonic control Beatrice? Beatrice killed... No, okay, what are you saying?
it says that I would say that Beatrice lost control of their actions.
Yeah, control of their actions during the massacre. No, due to a blood contract.
Yeah, I say that.
I recall what was written on Beatrice's contract during her trial. It said what would happen if she failed to claim House Freyga. Her soul, her mind, and her life would all be claimed by the Empress of Discord. What does this tell us about Aria? If this Empress of Discord owns Beatrice's mind, would that mean they could also control Beatrice against her will? But if that were true...
Aria lost control of their mind due to a blood contract.
No. Really?
Yes,
No. Okay. Well, if that's true, if this is true, then she also has a blood contract. But that can't be true. We'd have to ask her about that. No, that can't be right, can it? Did Aria seriously sign a blood contract with a demon? But why would she ever do that? But it's a conclusion that makes the most sense. I can't think of any other way someone could control her against her will. And there is one way to find out for certain. The Divine Edict. That same ability I used against Beatrice during her trial. It was instinctual at the time, but I have some understanding of how it works. It creates a copy of a blood contract between a contract holder and the demon who created it. For it to work, I need to know the name of the contract holder. In addition to that, I need the name of the demon who created the contract. Which demon did Aria make a blood contract with? Well, right now I'm only relying on guesswork, but going off what I know, the demon who made the contract must be the Empress of Discord.
Yeah, see that?
Yeah, we're starting to get to the part where Eris is the Empress of Discord. The so-called Empress of Discord. She was mentioned in Beatrice's blood contract, but I still have no idea who or what she is. However, she was mentioned in a blood contract created by Moranath. She must be his superior in some way. It might explain why Moranath doesn't want Beatrice to identify the purple mark. I'm not sure if a pseudonym is enough. It's the closest I can get with what I know so far.
You've been awfully quiet for a while, Mr. Cuthbert. What are you thinking about?
He's probably imagining new ways to futilely stall for time. I think I finally figured out why the witness and the defendant can't remember anything. And it was also explain why they didn't have control of their actions. Objection! Objection! Again with this. If you're so convinced of my daughter's conspiracy, why don't you prove it? I knew it. Even you don't believe in the nonsense you're spouting. Lord Steelwind, I want to be wrong about this. If I'm right, the implications don't bode well for anyone involved. So instead of telling you, I think it would be better to show you. Empress of Discord, wherever you may hide. Damn it.
I knew you could do it.
By the eye of Horus, I issue upon you a divine edict. Release thy guards and manifest your blood contract with Aria Steelwind.
Aria's blood contract has been added to the court record.
The blood contract seems strange. Unlike Beatrice's contract, it's only one page. Even stranger, there's a large empty space at the top half of the page. There are only a few sentences at the bottom. For the intentions of this contract, the person who hands the contract to Aria Steelwind will be referred to as the patron. By signing this contract, Aria Steelwind surrenders her mind, body, and soul to the patron. This contract will bind Aria Steelwind to the patron so long as they both live. It's signed with Aria's signature. Oh, no shit. Oh, no.
Boy.
Well, we already... The person who hands the contract to Aria Steelwind will be referred to as the patron. Well, I think we know who the patron is.
No! This can't be true!
This is...
Enough! Stop prattling amongst yourself!
Objection! No! This is a sham! This glitch has clearly created a convincing fabrication.
It's genuine, Lucio. It's impossible to falsify something like this.
You can't deny the truth anymore, Lord Steelwind. There is a way to control someone else's actions. Aria Steelwind wasn't affected by Mageblight. She was controlled against her will.
With this evidence, there is no doubt that Aria did sign a blood contract. But it still doesn't make sense.
I agree. Even if Aria was the type of person to sign a contract with a demon, there isn't a single part of this contract that benefits her. Why would Aria sign this contract? She wouldn't. The Empress of Discord masterminded this scenario to exact revenge on... Hold on. The patron signed the contract. Hold on. Patron... The Empress of Discord created the contract. She placed... Okay. Aria signed the contract because she placed her trust in... No... Why would... so we're 3 out of 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Aria signed the contract because she placed her trust in Beatrice. Lord
Nope.
Steelwind.
Nope.
A normal document?
Did it look like a normal document?
No, of course not. Oh, Aria. Okay. The Empress of
figure it out.
Discord created the contract. Aria signed the contract because it looked like a normal document. There's a large empty space above the terms of your daughter's contract. When I issue a divine edict, it creates a copy of the blood contract that I call for. I think when she was given this contract, it probably looked like something entirely different. Something else was written in this empty space to make it look like a normal legal document, which means that my client was not in control of her actions that day. Oh, when she was meeting... Dude, when she was meeting with the old fart. Objection. Enough of this, all of you. Do you see now, Lord Steelwind? Aria was not responsible for what happened. That remains to be proven. What are you talking about? She has a blood contract that relinquishes control of her free will. Not having control and not being responsible are two very different things, Cuthbert. What? I'll admit, the defendant may not have had control of her actions when she murdered the victims. However, she did have full control of herself when she signed this contract. Are you serious? No one in their right mind would willingly sign a contract like this. And what of Beatrice Frege? Was she in her right mind when she made a contract with the demon Moronoth? If we can't hold the defendant responsible, surely we should also acquit Lady Frege for the murder of her father. That's hardly the same thing. I, for one, failed to see the difference. A fool made a deal with the demon, and as a result, several esteemed members of the nobility were killed. She's your daughter, Lucio! And who does that change anything? Damn it, he seriously doesn't care if he convicts Aria. Honestly, this only places more responsibility on her for what happened. I could have accepted if she had been reckless and accidentally induced Mageblight. But to sign a contract with a demon, that only further exposes the need to put her down. She was clearly tricked, Lucio. Is that so? As a fellow attorney, would you really sign a contract without carefully inspecting it? I know how she tricked. I know how she got tricked. Whether it was foolishness, negligence, or both, the defendant willingly signed a blood contract. She compromised herself, and as a result, 3 nobles died. The responsibility falls squarely on her. Wait, even if she willingly signed that contract, that's not entirely true, is it? Who else was responsible for Aria's actions? It's either Mornath, the patron, because she handed it to her. Lucio, there's clearly someone else to blame for Aria's actions that day. Oh, and who would that be? I'd like to reread my client's blood contract to the court. By signing this contract, Aria Steelwind surrenders her mind, body, and soul to the patron. That can only mean one thing. Whoever this patron is, they took control of my client and used her to murder the victims.
That's right.
They could still be out there.
None of us are safe until his patron is properly handed.
Surely we can't end this trial while every member of the Wyvern nobility is in danger. Well played.
I'm compelled to agree with Mr. Cuthbert.
In 1,000 years, did I ever really believe that I was gonna have a trial with a dragon as the judge?
Trickery or not, it's clear someone wished ill intent on the nobles.
And until we know who this patron is, you can't pass judgment on my client. Not until we know the circumstances that she signed that blood contract under. And what would you have us do, Cuthbert? The contract has no stipulations about proximity and who this mind control works. For all we knew, this patron could have murdered the victims all while sitting in their very home. There was a clear intent behind this attack. Even if the patron didn't directly participate in the murders, they definitely had a motive. If Aria was being controlled, then we can analyze her behavior to determine who was controlling her.
I see. That does sound as good a plan as any. At the very least, we can't allow this patron to escape justice. Despite the questions raised, we've clearly made some headway. I believe we should take a brief recess to process these revelations.
Very well. Would you like to save your progress?
Sure thing, cause you never
know. Okay.
And as I always say, we go forward like a breath exhaled from the earth, with vigor in our hearts and one goal in sight.
To get to the truth.
Damn right, son. You step outside the Scale Lord's lair to get some fresh air.
Hey, that kind of rhymes.
These new revelations are a lot to take in. Celeste looks especially down. From what you've observed, she and Aria have been speaking to each other a lot. They must have become friends over the many times they've met.
Wait a minute. Hang on. No, she can't possibly. No, she's not the patron. Eris is the patron. Either Eris is the patron or Eris is the Empress of Discord, and the patron's the old fucker that handed her the piece of paper because of their marriage and shit. Or
somebody handed her that paper.
Somebody handed her that paper, but who? We already know that she began her rampage right around the time that she was meeting with, her fiance, the king, and the old dude. So one of those two fuckers must have passed it to her. Anyway.
You can't imagine how powerless she feels right now.
Aria, I'm so sorry. Don't be.
Her voice begins to break. She's always been stoic, but it's clear even she has her breaking point.
I can't imagine what you're feeling right now, but there's still hope. If we can find out who did this to you, we can still save you. Do you remember if you've signed anything recently?
No, I don't.
Damn it. The patron must have wiped your memories to cover their tracks.
But I still don't understand. Even if I don't remember signing that contract, I don't think I would be that careless.
Right. As much as I hate to admit it, Lucio was right. You're an attorney like me. We always carefully look over contracts before we sign them, which raises the question of how the patron got your signature.
I don't know. I just...
Damn it. We don't even know what circumstances you were under when you signed that contract. For all we know, the patron could have used any number of tactics to coerce you into doing this.
That's also possible. Aria.
As you're deliberating amongst yourselves, Lord Steelwind approaches you.
What are you doing here? Father. I can't believe him. How does he have nothing to say?
Hold on.
What's up?
Just some work business. Okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Anyway, okay. His actions say otherwise, but I could have sworn I saw something through the eye. It's almost as if he was saddened and worried. Well, no matter how he feels internally, he's made it clear that he's your enemy. He's my enemy. Whatever his motivations are, I'll overcome him, just like everyone else. We should also head back, Celeste.
Right.
No matter what it takes, we're going to see this through. Yeah, you notice how I said we?
Yeah, of course.
Court is now resumed. Shall we pick up where we carried off? How would you like to proceed?
I think we should review what we do know about the murders. We do have a plethora of witnesses to work with. That's correct, so let's start from the beginning. It all began at noon yesterday morning. I was at my house in Rathholme with Aria and my bodyguard Celeste. I was speaking with them when a courier suddenly delivered a letter to my home. Some Garrick Pierce. He wanted to meet with me and Celeste at the Grand Cathedral of the Scaled Lord at 2 p.m. To make sure we were on time, we arrived at the Grand Cathedral at 1 p.m. At the time, we didn't know that the cathedral was closed to the public, but the knights guarding the cathedral allowed us through anyways. Apparently, they were expecting us. That should not have been possible. Due to the solemnity of the situation, we are very particular about who is permitted to enter the cathedral. It's possible someone pulled some strings to let us through. Or you two entered the cathedral illegally. Well, I'm sure that knight from the Kingsguard can vouch for us. I knew about every order given to the Kingsguard, and none of them were told to let you two through. It's possible the night we met fell comatose like the others, and as long as they're unresponsive, we'll never know.
Perhaps we should continue.
Anyways, we arrived at the church and spent the next hour sightseeing before we went to meet with Pierce. In that time, we went with Remus, Lucio, Aria, Asta, and Alaric. And around that time, Aria and Asta left together to meet with the High Speaker in his quarters. See? We're getting there. When exploring the cathedral, we spoke with Von Sanctus and Sybil. Then we spoke with the three Frege sisters and Eris Illmatter. Eris Illmatter? She's a friend of Beatrice Frege. The Kingsguard wouldn't let her bring her familiar into the cathedral, so she brought Eris to guide her instead. Anyways, we left the garden around 1:45 p.m. to meet with Pierce in the prayer room. And at around the same time, Aria left her meeting with the High Speaker and felt nauseous. The last thing she remembers is looking at late Galacrond. A likely story. Regardless, at 2 p.m., Asta went to pay respects to his father's body. Unbeknownst to him, a mage had placed a glyph of contingency in front of his father's coffin. It was set to trap him within a force cage.
What a despicable act.
Considering what followed, the attack on His Majesty must have been a diversion. Right. It was also at this time that both Beatrice and Eris went missing. Considering the timing of it all, someone must have taken control of Beatrice's body after the trap on Asta was sprung. And are you saying this patron controlled her as well? No, I don't think so. According to a contract, her mind belongs to the Empress of Discord, not the patron. Furthermore, Aria's blood contract was created by the Empress. It's clear that the patron and the Empress were in league with each other. Wonderful. Another demon we have to worry about. Anyways, the patron and the Empress had all of the pieces they needed. That's when they began the massacre. The patron took control of Aria's body, and they used her to murder Von Sanctus at 2:05 p.m. Presumably, Aria started a fire in the common room around this time, and since Von Sanctus's body was found there, this must have been after she murdered him. Shortly after, Prince Alaric spotted smoke from the fire and asked Aria what was going on. Aria responded by using an unknown transmutation spell to incapacitate him. To think they would use her to attack the prince as well. Luckily, the effects of that spell were only temporary and Alaric came out unharmed. After this, the patron used Aria to murder Sybil at 2:15 p.m. She brought Sybil's body to the westward balcony, where she dumped it into Lake Galacrond. High Speaker Archias witnessed this, but he wasn't aware of what she'd thrown off the balcony until much later. The High Speaker thought this encounter was strange, but he continued with his business. He headed to the prayer room, was turned away by the knights standing guard there. Meanwhile, Celeste and I were talking to Lord Pierce. When we showed up for the meeting earlier, he was clearly expecting someone else to show up. We tried to get to the bottom of what was happening, but he refused to answer our questions. And at about 2:20 p.m. we heard a commotion outside. Celeste went to investigate. And that's when Celeste fought Aria. The patron's target was Garrick Pierce, but Celeste was too powerful to neutralize. They fought each other for about 15 minutes before Aria was finally able to push past her. During their fight, the Empress sent Beatrice into the prayer room. She probably made Beatrice invisible to move undetected. She then used her to cast a sleep spell on Pierce and me to knock us out. I remember checking the time close to when this happened. These must have happened at 2:30 p.m. If your testimony is correct, Beatrice Frege was actively used in this plan. Yes, and considering how quickly the massacre unfolded, the Empress must have coordinated with the patron. They probably planned how they would use Beatrice and Aria to carry out the murders. Anyways, after Beatrice knocked us out, Aria finally pushed past Celeste and entered the prayer room, and before Celeste could chase after her, she had already murdered Pierce. Aria and I were already unconscious by the time Celeste entered the room. The patron had already achieved their goal of murdering the three nobles, so she probably fell unconscious after they released their control over her. Aria and I regained consciousness shortly after. That's when the Inquisition arrested her for the murders. Lord Pierce was one of the victims. Your meeting clearly had more significance than I'd realized. So tell us, Cuthbert, what was your discussion about?
It's fine. You can tell them.
Right, as long as it's okay with you. For the past few months, Celeste and I have been investigating who her birth parents are. I recall receiving many complaints about her during the Lord's ball. Supposedly, Garrick Pierce had the information we were seeking. That letter he sent us said that he wanted to trade this information for his freedom. I assumed this meant that he wanted me to be his attorney.
Do you honestly expect us to believe that? Why would he ask for help from the attorney who had died to him in the first place?
We thought the same thing, and when we arrived for the meeting with Claire, I wasn't the intended recipient. This means that Pierce sent that letter to someone else.
You better not be lying to us, Cuthbert.
Frankly, I don't much care if you believe me. Regardless, if we examine every action Aria took, we can build a psychological profile of the patron.
We'll give you that.
To begin, the defense would like to call the Inquisition commander to the stand. His testimony might shed some light on how Van Sanctus and Sybil died. Despite all these witness accounts, we still only know how Pierce was murdered.
Yes, he was impaled during a... He was impaled using a blade magically frozen from his own blood.
In a grim sort of way, it's almost poetic that he died the same way Flynnhart did. But I doubt that will give Celeste any kind of closure. Anyways, we need to find out exactly how Aria murdered Von Sanctus and Sybil. The massacre was swift and efficient. It must have required a lot of forethought and coordination. If we figured out who might have had this knowledge, we might be able to find out who did this.
I see. That sounds as good a plan as any.
Package. I'm starting to suspect that Celeste is the patron, but I am not sure how she would have handed the document to Aria in the first place.
Well, we don't know, but...
I don't know. I mean, it's... Anyway.
Kingsguard, escort Commander Orm White to the witness stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Right.
Commander?
I'm sorry. I just can't do this. How am I supposed to act like this is normal? A giant lizard is standing right behind me.
Calling me a lizard is highly offensive, Commander.
Sorry, your scaled lordship, sir.
Commander, just try your best to testify about what happened.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Time for witness testimony.
It all started when we received a report from the Kingsguard. The prosecutor attacked Prince Alaric in a fire that had broken out in the common room. We weren't sure what the deal with Steelwind was, so we went to the common room to put out the fire.
Hold on, my foot is freezing, but...
No, it looks good to me.
Okay.
But when we got there, we noticed a bunch of unconscious knights in front of the prayer room. We went to the prayer room. That's when we found Steelwind and Cuthbert unconscious next to Pierce's dead body. We later found the bodies of Von Sanctus and Sybil too. That's when we realized that she offed all three of them. More on that.
Yep. So you still have no idea how Steelwind was used to murder Von Sanctus or Sybil?
Not a clue. It's especially worse for Von Sanctus. That fire burned a lot of the physical evidence off his body.
What about Sybil? Was there any physical evidence on her body?
No idea about that either. She didn't have any wounds either. All we know is that she died of suffocation.
There's definitely more information I can glean from their investigation.
All right, cross-examination time.
Prosecutor tells a fire had broken out in the common room. Went to the common room to put out the fire. Put up a bunch of unconscious knights in front of the prayer room. Held it. That last statement was a little vague. Perhaps I should ask him to elaborate more on one of the murders. Whose murder should he elaborate on?
Lloyd Von Sanctus.
That's where he was, anyway. Could you elaborate more on Von Sanctus's murder? Was there any evidence that implied how he died?
Like I said, it's trickier with Von Sanctus because the fire partially burned his body. And our divination magic can only tell that he died of suffocation.
I see, so there's no other physical evidence.
Well, there is one thing. From his burn marks, we do know that he was hit with a firebolt before he died. We're guessing she wanted to weaken him before she dealt the final blow. Because
So he took a direct attack from her before he died. Anyways, please add this to your testimony, Commander White.
Sure, whatever you say, kid. From the burns on his body, she must have hit him with a firebolt to keep him from getting away. He didn't have anything to defend himself with.
Well, that's a lie, because there was a square around the body.
Objection!
Objection! That's strange. What does it know? Commander White, you said that Steelwind attacked Von Sanctus with a firebolt before she suffocated him.
Yeah, she probably wanted to injure him so he'd be easier to subdue.
But that's what I find strange. Von Sanctus knew he was under attack. So wouldn't he cast Force Cage to repel her?
I guess that's true.
Von Sanctus was hardly a warrior, Cuthbert. Force Cage is an extremely useful spell, but it has to be aimed. He was hit with a firebolt, and he must have been in immense pain. I doubt he'd be able to think clearly under those circumstances. I'd normally agree with you, but the crime scene tells another story.
What do you mean, Mr. Cuthbert? What implies that Von Sanctus casts Force Cage?
Well, if we take a look at the...
But what about the traces of abjuration?
No, the general theory is somewhat believable, but I remember there's something I found at the crime scene that tells me whether Von Sanctus cast Force Cage or not. Well, of course there was what the hell?
Yeah,
anyway.
You presented the... look at the compendium. No, that's... No. Find the evidence that says Von Sanctus, traces of abjuration. It may be... Yeah, that's it. Traces of abjuration magic to form a perfect square around the body. The area within the square seems far less burnt, too.
Yeah, that I was almost there, but not quite. When we investigated the crime scene, we found traces of abjuration magic that formed a perfect square around the body. I'm sure if we measured the dimensions of that square, it would be 10 feet by 10 feet, which is the same length and width as the cube created by Force Cage. Like you said, he was in no shape to aim it. So he cast Force Cage on himself to create a makeshift barrier.
Objection!
Objection! Nonsense. If Von Sanctus had cast Force Cage on himself, he should have been protected from further harm. The defendant wouldn't have been able to suffocate him after that. Perhaps there's some way to bypass Force Cage. And once again, your ignorance of the arcane arts is made apparent. Force Cage is one of the most powerful abjuration spells in existence. It can't be dispelled. It cannot be dispelled, and no one can teleport into or out of it. Right. Asta was also trapped in a Force Cage, and he had to wait for the hour duration to elapse. So how did Steelwind suffocate him? Wait. If Force Cage is a perfectly closed space, is it possible that he ran out of air? That would be a glaring weakness. House Von Sanctus obviously designed that spell to allow oxygen through the barrier. And before you ask, poisonous gases cannot be pushed through the barrier either. Only oxygen can travel through it. Right, and even if they had used poisonous gas, the autopsy report wouldn't have said he was suffocated. How did Aria suffocate Von Sanctus? Only oxygen can travel through the bones of a Force Cage. So how did Aria suffocate Von Sanctus despite that? Let me see here. Let me think about this. The fire consumed all the oxygen in the common inside the cage. Well, yeah, no. Well, Let me try that. No, Aria had no way to physically harm Von Sanctus or prevent him from breathing. If she was outside the Force Cage, how should she have suffocated him?
Not in the cage, but in the room.
force cage is specifically designed to allow oxygen through its barrier. But what if there was no oxygen left in the room? No oxygen? Ah, I see.
It was the fire in the common room. The patron knew Aria couldn't harm Von Sanctus once he was in that force cage. So she started a fire to eat all the oxygen within the room.
The murder of Von Sanctus.
Murder of Von Sanctus has been updated in the court record.
After Aria Steelwind attacked Von Sanctus with a firebolt in the common room, he reacted by casting force cage to protect himself. Seeing that she couldn't break through it, she started a fire to eat all the oxygen in the room. Von Sanctus was probably helpless as he suffocated from a lack of oxygen. What should have protected him ended up trapping him, and the inability to dispel it ended up sealing his fate.
Run.
Well, I suppose that explains how the defendant murdered Von Sanctus. But with that in mind, a lot of this plan sounds like it was improvised at the moment.
Just like the murder of Pierce. And not only that, we assumed that the patron used the same method to kill both Lord Sanctus and Lady Sybil. But I doubt Lady Sybil died under the same circumstances. Correct. There was only one fire. And if Sybil was in a force cage, the defendant wouldn't have been able to throw her body into Lake Gullikrond, which means Sybil must have died by asphyxiation elsewhere.
Then it's clear our next course of action is to determine how Lady Sybil was murdered.
We still don't know where she was murdered.
And the only witness who saw her around this time was the High Speaker.
Which was after the defendant disposed of Sybil's body. Well, the High Speaker's testimony is a good start as any. For our next witness, the defense would like to call High Speaker Theon Archeus to the stand. What's wrong?
It's nothing. Please carry on.
Kingsguard, escort High Speaker Archeus to the witness stand. What the heck was that? What was that a delay about?
What? Oh.
Witness. The delay in the dragons. Like he was he was thinking out loud to himself. Witness, you will testify about. Oh, great and blessed scaled Lord, to think you would grace us with your presence.
Oh my God.
Forgive me, Lord Rathalion. I spoke out of turn. I must think I'm an arrogant fool. Wow. It looks like the witness is schmoozing the judge for once.
How many times do I have to tell you people that I'm not a god? Yes, I revere and serve the god of dragons, but I'm not Bahamut's avatar.
But you're the Scaled Lord.
I'm just a dragon. I'm not even a powerful one.
I beg to differ there.
I'm not a deity.
This humility. That's exactly what Bahamut's avatar would say.
I swear to God.
He even swears by the god's name.
Lucio, please handle this.
Perhaps another approach is warranted. High Speaker Archeus, the great and powerful Rathalion calls upon you today. We require You require my blood? Of course, I will gladly give my life for the Scaled Lord. What? No. Of course, my blood could never be enough. Would you just let me? I will do as you wish, my lord. Might take some time now. I need some time to gather some followers and...
Oh my God! We just want your testimony! Just tell us what you saw when Miss Steelwind was at the westward balcony yesterday.
Oh, I see. If that's what you truly wish, my lord. Are we just going to ignore how ready he was to commit mass murder? Be quiet. We just got him to come down. That's what the hesitation was.
All right, witness testimony time.
I was doing some paperwork in my quarters, and I suppose I lost track of the time. My alarm went off, and I realized that it was time for my afternoon prayers. I began heading to the prayer room when I spotted Lady Steelwind looking over the westward balcony. I tried to greet her, but she didn't respond to me. That's when I noticed she was pushing something large over the balcony and into Lake Galacrond.
There's got to be a connection there.
Yep. I asked her what she was doing, but again, she ignored me and went towards the prayer room. I thought nothing of it and made my way there as well. That's when the guards there turned me away. I went back to my quarters to do my prayers there. Considering the timing of it all, this must have all happened minutes before she began attacking the prayer room. Yes, I consider myself lucky. The Scaled Lord must have graced me with divine luck.
Please, just stop.
Considering how quickly she was moving, there has to be a reason why she waited there. Was she waiting for the High Speaker to leave? Perhaps I should closely examine the timing of these events.
All right, cross-examination time.
I definitely want to press him on this paperwork. You mean that contract? Held it. An alarm? It's a rudimentary artificial device. I use it to remind me to conduct daily prayers. I see. And do you have it set to go off at a specific time? Yes, it's set to go off at 2:10 p.m., 5 minutes before my afternoon prayers. And what else happened at 2:10 p.m.? Well, 5 minutes before that, Lloyd Van Sanctus was murdered. So yeah. And then 2:18.
8 minutes after, 8 minutes after the fact, Sybil died.
Yeah. Anyway, now that's important. I began heading to the prayer room when I spotted Lady Steelwind looking over the westward balcony. Trying to greet her, but she didn't respond to me. That's when I noticed she was pushing something large over the balcony and into Lake Galacrond.
Wait, okay.
So she ignored you? What was her expression like? It was very cold and emotionless. The Peter must have had control of her when this happened. Yes, that certainly makes the most sense. What time did this encounter happen? It was shortly after my alarm went off. It was definitely before 2:15 p.m.
Now go back a statement. What does Corleen Sybil's autopsy report say? That says
died at 2:18 p.m. Cause of death of suffocation. Her body was found floating in a nearby lake outside of the Grand Cathedral. Traces of transmutation, evocation, and necromancy magic were found on the body. Objection! Wait, what? There's something wrong. There is, but I'm not really sure what it means. Stop stammering and say what you want to say. High Speaker, you said that you saw Aria dumping something over the ledge of the balcony. There's no need to be vague, Cuthbert. It's clear from the evidence that you saw my daughter dumping Lady Sybil's body. That's the thing, Lord Steelwind. It couldn't have been Sybil's body. What are you talking about? The location from the balcony to where we found Lady Sybil's body lines up perfectly. That might be, but the witness just said he saw Aria dumping the body before 2:15 p.m. Wait. You see it too, don't you, Lucio? How did Aria dump Corleen Sybil's body into Lake Galacrond before 2:15 p.m. if her time of death was 2:18 p.m.?
Run.
I see. That does seem peculiar.
But we knew the defendant threw Sybil's body from that balcony. There would be no other explanation for how it ended up there. Yes, that's also true.
Perhaps she was still alive when Aria threw her off of that balcony. She could have been knocked unconscious with a sleep spell.
Your Grace, there were no traces of conjuration magic on her body. And even if she was asleep, she wouldn't have survived a fall from that height. The distance from that balcony to the lake is more than 30 stories. And the autopsy report says the cause of death was suffocation, not blunt force. Right. So when did she die? She died while she was. She died after she hit the water.
Yeah.
It have to be. She must have died after she hit the water.
But Mr. Cuthbert, Lucio just said that she would have died upon impact.
But that's assuming she didn't do anything to lessen the blow. She might have had the opportunity to cast a spell to protect herself. That might explain why her body isn't as damaged despite falling from such a great height. Objection. Again, that doesn't match with the evidence. Lady Sybil's spell compendium contained the spell Slew Fall. If she had the opportunity to cast a spell, she would have used that spell to slow her descent, and she wouldn't have taken any damage from hitting the lake if she'd done that. That's a really good point. Man, he got there quicker than I did. But just indulge me for a second. Which spell did Sybil cast on herself? Well, let's take a look at what her... Now check it out. Now check it out. Her spell compendium. She has Slow Fall, Foresight, Strike True, Detect Magic, Stone Skin. That's the dark thing. Those are the chunks of rock. She drowned. Yep. She must have cast Stone Skin on herself. Stone Skin? If I recall, the High Speaker mentioned that something was strange about the object Aria threw over the balcony. It was much darker and didn't match with Sybil's usual garb. Almost as if there was something else Sybil was wearing.
That object was actually Lady Sybil protected by a layer of stone.
But that still doesn't explain why she would cast that instead of Slowfall. He's right. Why did Sybil cast Stone Skin on herself? Sybil cast Stone Skin before being thrown into the lake.
Yes.
She cast Stone Skin on herself before she was thrown into the lake. Aria must have attacked her, and she cast that spell in response. That would protect her from the Steelwind strike. But that doesn't seem quite right. What do you mean? I may not have seen much, but I saw that the object Aria dumped was stiff and motionless. If it had been Lady Sybil, she would have been struggling against her, wouldn't she? That's a good point too. The High Speaker saw Aria dumping a motionless Sybil, but if we assume my logic is correct, she would also still been alive. Why was Sybil motionless despite being conscious? So why wasn't she struggling against Aria? Sybil was knocked out by a spell.
I'd say affected.
She must have been affected by a spell. And considering it kept her from resisting Aria, the patron must have made Aria cast that spell on her. What spell did Aria cast on Sybil? Well, let's see. She has Mend Wounds, Firebolt, Shape Liquid, Dispel Magic, Steelwind Strike, Detect Magic, Polymorph, and Hold Creature. And that's an evocation spell, right? So, and again,
Yep.
Hold on a second. She had evocation magic on her person. So, that's the guy. It was Held Creature. Sybil must have cast Stone Skin on herself when Aria attacked her. The patron must have known that Aria couldn't physically damage her like that, so they ordered her to restrain Sybil with that spell. And Sybil died by suffocation. That's right, Lucio. How did Sybil suffocate? Even if she was restrained, Sybil was still protected by Stone Skin. That would have left only one option for the patron. Sybil Sybil drowned in Lake Galacrond. Sybil suffocated when Aria threw her into Lake Galacrond. Her stone skin lessened the impact of the fall, but it also made her drop like a literal rock. Aria's held creature spell prevented her from moving or releasing her spell. She was helpless as she sank to the bottom of the lake.
believe that covers all three of the murders then.
Package.
Huh?
That thing about Celeste knowing spells at an alarming rate.
Mm-hmm.
Could Celeste McCoy actually be the patron? But fucking why? Why?
I don't know.
I
Gotta
mean,
prove it.
listen. Celeste would know. Look, Celeste knew how Pierce killed her father because she used the exact same trick on Pierce, right? So why go after Von Sanctus and Lady Sybil? Because she's pissed off at the nobility, okay? But who is the Empress of Discord then? All right. Aye. Lord Von Sanctus suffocated to death in his own false cage. Lady Sybil drowned after Aria cast held creature on her. And Lord Pierce died after being wounded by a blade created with shape liquid.
The only common thread I see is that the patron used some of the victims' magics against them.
But how does that connect to Pierce? Did he cast shape liquid to make a blade to defend himself? Maybe the murderer took it from him and used it against him. No, but he was knocked unconscious alongside me. He couldn't have been the one to create that blade. Anyways, whoever did this had an in-depth knowledge of each of the spells they used to defend themselves. They knew that Von Sanctus couldn't dispel his own force cage, and they also knew that he still needed oxygen from within it. And in Sybil's case, they knew Aria couldn't physically harm her once she had Stone Skin active. They also knew that Old Creature would prevent Sybil from dispelling her own Stone Skin. Not only that, they did all of this in a quick time frame. Von Sanctus and Sybil died within 13 minutes of each other. And if Aria had encountered Celeste, Pierce might have died just as quickly.
So whoever did this had an in-depth knowledge of high-level magic.
Not only that, they came up with creative ways to bypass the defenses put up by Von Sanctus and Sybil.
Yes, they have the ability to react quickly and decisively.
But considering the circumstances, that hardly nail us a doon. Several members of the Four Pillar families were present that day. Each and every one of them studied at the Imperial Academy. They would all be knowledgeable in magic and its applications. Something they're saying isn't sitting right by me for some reason. There's something there, so why can't I see it? It's no use. I just can't piece it together yet. But I'm not finished yet. There's another angle to this. Consider who the patron did and didn't target. What's similar about some of the targets? The victims were Lloyd Van Sanctus, Coraline Sybil, and Garrick Pierce. What's a similarity that we can draw between at least two of them? Van Sanctus and Sybil are house leaders of pillar families. Von Sanctus and Sybil were the heads of their respective noble houses.
Are you saying the patron's goal was to assassinate leaders of the Four Pillars?
That's the motive that makes the most sense, but that does leave one question. Don't be coy. I'm not daft, Cuthbert. Actually, I highly doubt it was you. Really, no. Out of most of the people there, you could have easily tricked your daughter into signing a blood contract, but why would you need to do that? You're the Grand General of Wyverngarde's military, and the cathedral was filled with your men. You could have easily equipped one of your best mages to carry out this massacre, and you wouldn't even need to make a deal with a demon to do so.
So why wasn't Lucio targeted then?
From our encounter with Celeste, it's clear there's a limit to Aria's combat capabilities. The patron might have simply doubted Aria's ability to defeat the Grand General. But there's also another explanation. Why didn't the patron target Lucio Steelwind? Lucio wanted to save Aria. No, hold on. Lucio wanted to save Aria from the nobility? No.
Let me know when you're stumped.
Okay, wait. Lucio's part 1, right?
Keep thinking.
Okay. Okay, this is the patron wanted to hide Aria from the nobility. No, Rathalion. Well, Rathalion's not a part of this, is he?
No.
So
No,
it's
he's
either,
not.
It's either Lucio or Aria. Aria wanted to save. How
That doesn't make sense.
No, it has to be Lucio. It's either Lucio or the patron. Lucio wanted to save House Steelwind. No. Why didn't the patron target Lucio Steelwind? The patron wanted to frame House Steelwind for the murders.
Aha!
The patron wanted people to suspect House Steelwind for the murders. They used Lucio Steelwind's daughter to commit the crime. Then they intentionally left him alive to cast suspicion on him. That's why they used my daughter. Is that a tinge of anger I feel from him? Anyways, that leads me to my next point. Imagine if we never discovered Aria's blood contract with the Empress of Discord. What would have happened?
We'd still think that Miss Steelwind succumbed to Mageblight. She would have been convicted for the murders, and trust in House Steelwind would be forever diminished.
About a month ago, House Freyga lost its head, and his successor, Leia Freyga, was woefully unprepared to take his place. Now the heads of House Von Sanctus and House Sybil are dead, with House Steelwind being held responsible for it all.
All 4 of the Pillar families would have been weakened as a result of the massacre.
But I think there's another layer to this. Everything fits together if we assume that the patron's goal was to weaken the Pillar families, except for the murder of Garrick Pierce. Yes, in contrast to Sybil and Von Sanctus, Pierce's political power pales in comparison. Furthermore, Pierce was already scheduled to be executed next month for the murder of Flintheart McCoy. Why did the patron target Garrick Pierce? Why would the patron go to the trouble of murdering a condemned man? Pierce knew the identity
Of Celeste's parents.
What? The patron murdered Pierce because they needed him to die as quickly as possible. Pierce knew the identity of Celeste's biological parents.
My parents?
Do you remember what Pierce said when we showed up for the meeting? Ah, you finally arrived. I suppose this means you finally decided. Wait! You two?
We got your letter.
Letter? What letter? You sent us a letter, Pierce. It said that you knew who Celeste's parents were. I did send that letter, but not to you two. We weren't the intended recipients of that letter.
That's right.
So that leaves one last question. Who did Pierce originally send that letter to? The patron. There's only one person Pierce could have sent that letter to. The person who orchestrated the massacre in the first place. The patron. But that means the patron is someone who would be threatened by Celeste's parentage. Let me...
Order in the court.
I want to re-deliver that line one more time. The patron is someone who would be threatened by Celeste's parentage. But the question is who? Who? So yeah, Celeste is definitely not the suspect here. Well, hang on a second.
Order.
Go ahead.
You were saying, hold on a second?
Hold on a second. Maybe she still is. I don't know.
Order in the court.
But I don't understand.
I'm sorry. I know this is a lot to take in, but I think they were targeting you for some reason. Pierce knew the identity of Celeste's parents and attempted to blackmail the patron with this. Instead of complying with Pierce's demands, the patron instead sent the letter to me.
But why go to the trouble of luring you there?
They could have just allowed Pierce to wait in the prayer room while the defendant made her way to murder him. Looking back on it, it's possible they wanted to kill Celeste too.
What?
They knew I wouldn't meet with Pierce alone, and the information he had was about her. The patron correctly guessed that I'd bring her with me. By killing both Pierce and Celeste, they'd eliminate any threat Celeste would pose to them.
But who would be threatened by such information?
The mere existence of McCoy posed a threat to them. It must have something to do with her birthright.
Right. So who would that leave? Either the Eye Taker or the royal family.
All of them, one by one.
Okay. King de Wivengard just recently died. What if Celeste was a member of the royal family?
You think I'm a princess?
I don't want to suspect Asta, but we need to consider every possibility. And when it comes to conflicts of inheritance, a royal line of succession is the first thing that comes to mind. Not only that, the king would have the authority to pardon Pierce for his crimes.
But that wouldn't entirely make sense.
What do you mean?
If McCoy was abandoned at the tower in Cornhaven, we must assume she's a bastard child.
Okay, I don't know why you have to bring that up.
My point is that King Olivier wouldn't abandon a child of pure royal blood. The kingdom requires heirs to continue the royal bloodline. He would have leveraged her in a diplomatic marriage.
That's disgusting.
That's diplomacy, Cuthbert. Anyways, even if McCoy was of royal blood, Asta is the king's eldest child. And he's of pure royal blood. McCoy would have no claim to the throne under these circumstances.
Right. I see what you mean. I suppose that eliminates Asta for now. Anyways, we should consider the other suspects first, so who would that leave?
House Frege.
I recall during Beatrice Frege's trial, we heard William Frege's last will and testament. It mentioned that House Frege's assets would be divided evenly between all of his children.
If McCoy were to be revealed as a Frege, his daughters would be legally obligated to share the estate with her.
Can I seriously be a Frege?
I don't want to suspect Leif or Miriam, but we need to consider every possibility. And as we've seen, the Freges are no strangers to making deals with demons. But it still doesn't quite fit. I doubt Leif or Miriam would do something like this.
What are you basing that on?
I tend to be a good judge of character, and there just don't seem like the time to do something like this.
Bah, you're far too trusting. I hold no doubt that any of William's children will be capable of something like this.
I suppose we'll have to see. Anyways, we should consider the other suspects first. Who would that leave? Oh, God. The Eye Taker. You don't think... Okay, remember this. Remember when Eris took the soul of the Eye Taker's daughter? Is Celeste McCoy the Eye Taker's daughter?
I don't think so, but keep
Well,
going.
why
House
the heck?
Steelwind.
Why is Celeste so scared of Eris, though? Huh? Anyway, as much as I have my doubts, House Steelwind is the only pillar family whose house leader survived the past month.
You think I'm McCoy's biological father?
You're barely a father to your actual daughter.
I'm only stating that possibility for the sake of argument. As I've said, it wouldn't make sense for you to frame your own daughter when House Steelwind would be blamed, but we need to consider every possibility. Anyways, we should consider the other suspects first, so who will that leave? The Eye Taker. What if the Eye Taker orchestrated this whole thing?
The Eye Taker? That common criminal? What reason would he have to do this?
I've heard firsthand that he was planning to expand his influence throughout Wivengard. He was actually plotting with Beatrice to use House Frigga to do so. Since I ruined his original plans, setting up that massacre might have been his backup plan. Perhaps we're looking at this all wrong. What if Celeste was part of the royal family and they were planning to use her to take the throne? But if he wanted to do so, why would he put McCoy in danger by having my daughter attack her? Not only that, he also had the perfect opportunity to murder His Majesty. Imagine if he had placed a more lethal contingent spell in that glyph of contingency. His Majesty might very well have died alongside Von Sanctus, Sybil, and Pierce. Yeah, I suppose you're right, but we need to consider every possibility. Nah, but I can't think of anyone else. Yes, aye, there's a flaw with each suspect. Your logic is clearly flawed. Well, I don't see him coming up with any ideas. There's something here I'm not seeing, but I know I'm close. There's a missing piece that ties this all together. Regardless, we still have no idea who this Empress of Discord is. I am loath to allow such an individual to walk freely through Wivengard. Your Grace, you've been alive since the creation of Wivengard and magic. Do you know who this demon is?
I can't say I do. Demons tend to take on many titles over their lifetimes. But whoever this Empress is, they are brave to so blatantly encroach on my domain like this.
Well, I suppose we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there.
We've obtained a lot of information today, but we clearly have many questions that need to be answered. How should we proceed? What is it, Mr. Cuthbert?
I can't help but feel that there's something here I'm not seeing. I just can't put my finger on it.
We have been working on this for quite a while. Perhaps we should suspend proceedings so that we can look into these new leads.
I have no objections, but give my men some time to look into what we've discovered today.
Then it's settled. We'll be postponing proceedings for now, but you'll all be expected to return here by tomorrow morning.
You are all free to return to their homes for the time being. But make no mistake, the King's Guard will be keeping careful watch over all of you.
There's still this constant nagging sensation in the back of your mind.
Hey, Tyrion?
It's as if you've forgotten something extremely important.
Tyrion?
What is it? What could be so important yet so difficult to remember?
Tyrion!
Sorry. I was just thinking about everything.
You're looking really stressed out. You want to get back to your house to rest?
No, we only have a day until the trial resumes. If we can't figure out what happened after tomorrow, the magical traces will dissipate.
But you already know what happened. You just don't know who did it.
Yeah, but we should speak with the suspects again. Maybe if I get lucky, I'll see something to the Eye of Horus.
But one of the suspects is the Eye Taker. What are you going to do about him?
I suppose I'll have to speak with him too.
What? No! What if he tries to kill you again?
Aria's life is on the line. That's just a risk I'll have to take.
Tyrion, do you even understand what you've been pulled into?
What?
Someone just murdered a bunch of nobles, and they even attacked members of the royal family. Now there are ancient dragons and demon lords involved too. Isn't this above your pay grade?
Ouch.
You know that's not what I meant. It's just this whole thing is crazy, isn't it?
It's fine. It's just like any other of our investigations.
It's not, though. What if the Empress of Discord attacks you? What if the patron decides that you're getting too close to the truth? What if I can't?
Her voice begins to break.
Celeste? Are you still worried about what happened during the massacre? I'm fine. I already told you that you didn't do anything wrong.
You almost died, Tyrion.
I know.
Tyrion, you almost died.
I know, Celeste.
No, Tyrion, I don't think you do. Do you have any idea how worried I was when she broke past me? When I saw you all lying on the floor, so many things were going through my mind. I don't know what I would have done if you were...
She can't even complete that sentence.
Celeste,
You were so focused on everything else that you had been ignoring her. She was attacked by Aria and almost died. You never even thought about how traumatic that must have been for her.
I'm sorry. I didn't think.
Don't apologize. Just please. Please just leave this to Lucio and the Scaled Lord. You've done enough already. They can figure the rest of it out.
And what if it's not enough? I'm not so arrogant that I think they can't do it without me. But what if they can't figure out who the patron is? Aria will spend the rest of her life in prison. What if I could have done something to prevent that?
I don't care if that happens.
Celeste!
I don't care, Tyrion. I'll apologize to her all you want after this. But all I want is to keep you safe. And I don't know if I'm able to do that anymore.
Even she seemed surprised by what she said.
What?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Huh? I'm really happy you're a part of my life.
What?
I know what you're saying is coming from a place of care, and I'm really sorry about how much I've been worrying you lately, but...
You're not gonna stop, are you?
It's like I've always said.
Man, king, or god, nothing will stop you from getting justice for your clients. I'm gonna talk to Lucio.
What?
If we're gonna meet the Eye Taker again, we're bringing some knights with us.
Celeste, that's hardly...
Nope, you don't get a say in this. And if you're not here when I get back, I will find you.
Judging from her expression, it's not an empty threat.
Fine, just go. She might have a point, though. Before everything happened, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to continue being an attorney. Maybe I should consider a safer, quieter life after all this is done. Perhaps a life with her. Wait, what?
All right, Lucio's cleared it. It was surprisingly easy to convince him.
Oh,
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Let's not waste any more time.
Before she has a chance to respond, you hastily walk past her.
Hey, don't walk so far ahead.
You need to see...
I need to stay focused on the trial for Aria's sake. But when this is all over, I'll... well, I suppose I don't have to think about that until then. Is someone smitten? And would you like to save your progress? Yes, we would, because...
You never know.
Okay. What do you think?
You are the captain of the ship. It's 7:39 p.m. It's been an hour and 45 almost.
Well, here's the thing. How long is it going to take till the next break? You know what? If it takes an hour and a half, that means it's over 3 hours long. But an hour and a half from now would be just after 9 p.m. We go forward with vigor in our hearts and one goal in sight.
The truth. Let's do it. Using the Kingsguard's teleportation network, you arrive back in Ratholm. Due to Celeste's insistence, you're being escorted by a division of the Kingsguard. They definitely make you look out of place. As you walk through the city, you draw strange looks from nearly everyone who sees you. Sir, where will we be heading first?
Oh,
It's a little strange giving orders to knights. It's definitely going to take some getting used to.
What's wrong?
there's definitely something I'm fundamentally missing. But what?
Just don't push yourself too hard, okay?
Yeah, I'll try to pace myself. Anyways, we should speak with each of the suspects and confirm their alibis. That might help me finally put things together.
Each of the nobles has returned to their respective homes, but our teleportation network should help you travel around Rivengard. Let's move somewhere. Frigga Manor, let's look there first, see what we got uncovered. You arrive at Frigga Manor, hoping to speak with Leif and Miriam. After some asking around, one of the servants mentions that they appear to be entertaining guests in the study. You normally wouldn't interrupt them, but you've already eaten up a lot of time traveling here. Whatever they're discussing can wait. As you enter the study, Trekker runs up to you and begins barking. But once he sees who you are, he calms down. Oh, hello, friends. Sorry for Borks. Trekker thought he smelled something bad.
Oh, Mr. Cuthbert.
You scan the room and see that Miriam is there too. And they appear to be speaking with Lord Asclepius.
Sorry for barging in, Leif.
No, it's no problem at all.
Her emotions imply that she already knows why you're here.
I'll skip the pleasantries. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about what happened?
Of course. I'll do anything to help with Lady Steelwind's situation.
Should I leave?
No, you were there with me when everything happened. And your testimony will substantiate my alibi.
Why is he pissed off about that? Leif is a suspect. Leif, I'm sure you know why I'm here, but I just want to preface this by saying that I highly doubt you were behind this.
No, I perfectly understand. Frankly, I'm also at a loss. I have no idea who did this.
What are you talking about? It was clearly that criminal, the Eye Taker. Why don't you go interrogate him?
Make no mistake, we fully intend to, but I'd like to cover everyone else before I confront him.
Let it be, Miriam.
But it's his fault that Beatrice is...
Our sister knew what she was doing when she gave her testimony. Don't insult her bravery by blaming Mr. Cuthbert for what happened.
What?
Anyways, Mr. Cuthbert has shown many times that he's acting in good faith. And he's capable of convicting the criminals that even we can't see.
Alright, let's keep talking. You mentioned Beatrice before. Did something happen?
It happened right after she gave her testimony this morning. She fell unconscious shortly after she left the Scaled Lord's lair. She hasn't woken up since then, and Moranath has gone missing.
Uh-oh. What?
It must have been the Empress of Discord. After you manifested Lady Steelwind's blood contract, we all realized why she was acting so strangely.
Right. If it weren't for her, I would have never even considered trying to issue a divine edict.
She sacrificed herself to save Lady Steelwind.
It seems our esteemed sister put her trust in you, commoner.
So we will do the same. If there's anything we can do to help you, please ask.
Alright, where were you during the massacre? I appreciate your trust, all of you, but I have to ask, where were you all between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. that day?
Luckily, we were all together.
Me, Leif, Miriam, Beatrice, and her friend were all in the garden before 2 p.m.
But at around 2 p.m., my sister and Ms. Illmatter both went missing.
I can't believe we trusted her to take care of our sister.
Hush now, Miriam.
Yeah, Do you people not realize it's Eris that's behind all this?
If the Empress of Discord took control of her, there was hardly anything Miss Illmatter could do to stop it.
That's assuming that you think that Ms. Illmatter isn't the Empress of Discord, when in fact she is.
I really do hope she's okay. She's been missing since the massacre.
You mentioned that you all went to search for her. Did you see anything?
No, we were originally planning to search the cathedral grounds. But when we arrived at the nave, we found Asta trapped in a force cage.
Did any of you lose track of each other during that time?
No, we stayed together for the entire time. But we did consider splitting up to cover more ground.
But the Kingsguard found us and asked us to stay where we were.
Right, I suppose that makes sense. And did you see Eris at all when this happened?
No, we never saw her.
Latest testimony added to the court record.
Beatrice Frege and Eris Illmatter were accounted for in the garden until 2 p.m., but after that they both went missing. Eris supposedly lost track of Beatrice to search for her in the garden. Leah Frege, Miriam Frege, and Lazarick Asclepius were together and were about to search for Beatrice at 2:05. However, they were stopped by the Kingsguard, who reported that a glyph of contingency had just trapped after Wolverguard in a force cage. She went missing at the same time that Beatrice did. That's really suspicious.
You don't think?
It's definitely possible she was involved in this somehow. Not to mention, the Eye Taker is one of our suspects, and she's his daughter.
She's his what?
You didn't know? I'd have thought that Beatrice would have told you.
No, she didn't mention that at all.
Looks like Eris has a lot to answer for. If I can even find her, that is. You're just now figuring this out. Anyway, contracts with a demon. I suppose I'll stop beating around the bush. Have any of you made a blood contract with a demon lately?
How dare you, this arrogant little peasant!
No, I understand where he's coming from. I want to understand it, but the very idea is infuriating. Of everyone present, our sister was the only person with known ties to a demon. If she were to share that secret with anyone, it would have been with us.
I didn't catch any incriminating thoughts from them through the eye, but I've been misled by it before. Nevertheless, we still have no idea who the patron is.
I was actually meaning to ask you during the trial. Can't you just use this divine edict of yours to figure out who the patron is?
No, to manifest a blood contract, I need the title of the demon and the name of the human they made that contract with.
I understand that, but why not just apply brute force?
Now, how does he know about that? What?
Due to the king's funeral, the Kingsguard has a detailed list of everyone who was present during the massacre. Whoever this patron is, they were working together with the Empress of Discord. That must mean they made a blood contract with her, yes?
That's right. I could just keep issuing divine edicts until a blood contract appears.
Wait, is that safe?
There's only one way to find out.
You take out your notes and begin looking at your list of suspects. You might be at this for a while, so you might as well go in order. You clear your thought in preparation.
Empress of Discord, wherever you may hide, release thy guards and manifest your blood contract with Asta de Wyvengard.
Tyrion, what's wrong?
You collapse to the ground as you suddenly find yourself overcoming immense pain.
What? What's happening to him?
Lazarick, use your magic to heal him.
Right.
Oh, you silly, silly boy. You may be half human, but you can't just go around declaring lies like that.
What?
And I was really looking forward to bringing you to the end of this. I haven't even started to have my fun yet.
Who are you?
Actually, I suppose that contract is still in effect. I guess my hands are tied. I'll save you just this once. Man, Tyrion, please wake up.
Celeste?
You're okay.
I most certainly don't feel okay. I can feel every part of my body aching. It's painful for me to even sit up like this.
Are you okay, friend?
Yeah. What happened?
You died.
What? What? What?
I've never brought anyone back from something like that. That was my strongest spell, too. You have no idea how lucky you are. If I wasn't here, who knows what might have happened.
I don't understand. The last thing I remember was issuing my divine edict. Wait.
Was that the cause?
But I've done it before without any problems. I just used it this morning. Why did the divine edict harm you? The patron, Aster, does not have a blood contract with the Empress of Discord. It might be because Aster doesn't have a blood contract with the Empress. If demons are unable to lie, the same might hold true for angels as well. The divine edict is clearly some sort of divine magic, so asking for a blood contract that doesn't exist might be considered a lie.
Sorry, it's my fault for suggesting it.
No, I was being reckless.
Please be more careful. I don't think my heart can take this.
Well, at least we know Aster wasn't behind this.
He was the most obvious one.
What? Huh? Either way, I should still make note of this.
No blood contract added to the court record.
Aster de Wivengard has no blood contract with the Empress of Discord, obviously. No. Anyways, it's clear I can't just issue these edicts without thinking. I just have to wait until I'm certain of the patron's identity.
Just please be careful.
Well, anyways, it looks like I found everything I can here. Perhaps I should move somewhere else. That contract is still in effect. Which one? Anyway, are we moving? No.
Grand Cathedral. You arrive back at the Grand Cathedral of the Scaled Lord. You probably won't need to investigate the crime scenes again. But you wonder if Aster or Lucio might be here. Oh, Mr. Cuthbert. As you enter, you're approached by Aster, Alaric, and Lucio. How is your investigation? Are you okay? You look quite pale.
Yeah, there was a bit of an accident earlier. I'm a little too embarrassed to admit that I almost ended up dying. Well, try to exude more caution next time. It'd be dishonorable if you didn't fall by my hand. Oh, why is everything you say so aggressive? Anyways, I finally have my next suspect here. Judging from the evidence I've gathered, it's very unlikely that Aster's the patron. I do wonder if he saw something, though. Yeah, because remember, okay, Lucille Steelwind. Why are you looking at me like that, Cuthbert? Oh, sorry. After he attacked me in Frega Manor, I've always been a little wary of him. If it weren't for Celeste's reflexes, he might very well have killed me that day. I'm not going to attack you again. I hope you can understand my uneasiness. You did almost kill me the first time we met. What? What? That's not... It's because you're a Heavensborn. What? Huh? What does me being a Heavensborn have to do with this? It's difficult to explain to someone like you, but warriors such as I must hone and develop our senses to survive in battle. Eventually, we develop the ability to sense hidden enemies and anticipate danger. I hear that such senses are heightened when in the presence of extraplanar entities. Until I met you and Beatrice Frega's familiar, I thought those stories were complete nonsense. Me and Moranath? As a Heavensborn, your blood is said to originate from the heavens. I wouldn't go so far as to say that I believe in the existence of other planes, but I admit that I still feel a certain aura from you that doesn't feel too quite human. So that's why you attacked me? I was exuding a threatening aura? It was actually the opposite. Your aura was too calming and benign. I thought it must be some kind of trick or illusion.
I see. That's quite an astounding ability.
What about you, McCoy?
What?
Did you not sense a similar aura when you first met him? Is that true?
Well... Wow, there's a really fancy carriage outside. I wonder who it belongs to. Oh, there's someone inside the inn, too. Is that guy visiting my dad? Oh, wow, he's kind of cute. Yeah. It was kind of similar.
Go ahead.
For some reason, you feel a little embarrassed.
Alright, Aster is a suspect. Aster, I'm sure you know why I'm here.
It's because I'm one of your suspects, isn't it?
He's way too happy about that. Your Majesty, you are the reigning king of Wevengard. I expect you to conduct yourself with more dignity.
Of course. My apologies, Lord Steelwind.
Anyways, questioning you is honestly a formality at this point.
Really?
A lot of the evidence works in your favor. He doesn't have a blood contract with the Empress after all.
Well, I appreciate your vote of confidence nonetheless.
The Force Cage. Lucio, have you made any headway in figuring out who set that trap for Aster? No, I haven't.
It makes me uneasy that you let someone get that close to my father's body.
Yes, I cannot begin to apologize for my men's incompetence. If they were more vigilant, perhaps we could have avoided this whole tragedy entirely. So your men were guarding the late king's coffin? Aye. There wasn't a single moment when his body was left unguarded.
We found traces of illusion magic at the location of the Force Cage. Although we were still not sure about who could have set that trap. There are also members of the King's Guard that can cast both Force Cage and Glyph of Contingency. And many of them fell comatose during the massacre. So we don't even know if one of them betrayed us.
Do you think my men are that weak, Your Majesty?
I think anyone can be made weak when put through enough stress.
Regardless, we have no way of telling who may have been guarding the coffin when the trap was set. This means that we have no way of telling when that Glyph of Contingency was set. I was actually meaning to ask about that. Couldn't we wait for the 48 hours to elapse? If we make note of the exact time that traces of evocation disappear, we can work backwards to discern the exact time the trap was set. Well, normally we could.
When the spell activated, I unfortunately panicked and cast a firebolt to try to destroy it. Of course, it didn't even put a dent in the Force Cage.
Because of that, he left traces of evocation at the exact location of the Glyph of Contingency. We cannot discern which traces were left by the patron's Glyph of Contingency or His Majesty's firebolt.
I'm terribly sorry about that. Trapped King has been updated in the court record.
There are traces of illusion magic at the crime scene. This might imply that someone hid themselves in the guards and they set this trap. Well, I can't blame him for reacting like that, but it's going to make figuring out who did this that much more difficult.
Give him one more talking point.
Aria Steelwind. Have either of you spoken to Aria since the trial?
We have. I think she's doing the best she can, all things considered.
No thanks to you.
What?
She's only in this situation because of you. Lucio, that's not...
Me? You're the one who's heartlessly prosecuting her.
She's far too weak for this.
If that's what you truly think of her, you're grossly misunderstanding the kind of person that she is. She defied the role you tried to force into her, and she instead dedicated herself to fixing our broken kingdom.
Ever since this started, all you've done is insult her. But you know nothing about her, and she's far stronger than you realize. Despite her lineage, she's always carved her own path and pursued her own justice. Her own path? She only became a prosecutor because of His Majesty.
What are you talking about? She became a prosecutor to fix our corrupt justice system from the inside.
And who do you think put those ideas into her mind? If she wanted to fix our justice system, she could easily have done so by slowly weakening House Symbol's influence. She knew about your strange idolization of Ruby Tamora, and she knew how closely you followed each and every one of her cases. I know why she became a prosecutor. She thought that if she could come like your idol and defeated her, you might finally notice her.
You're wrong, Lucio. Aria Steelwind would never care about me that much.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Are you seriously that dense? When you were still engaged to Lady Freyga, you flaunted your relationship in front of my daughter with no regard for her feelings. I remember each and every time I heard her silently crying in her quarters because of how oblivious you are. She's changed every part of herself in order to please you. Is he getting angry on her behalf?
I had no idea.
My daughter is far stronger than any of us, but she's weak when it comes to you. Lucio, there's no point in fighting amongst ourselves. Please stay focused on the investigation. Seems that he cares for Aria a lot more than I realized, and the eye shows that his feelings are genuine. But then why is he doing everything he can to convict her? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Tyrion Cuthbert.
Oh, the mood is a little tense. I must ask you, Cuthbert, why are you going to such lengths for my daughter? What do you mean? Surely you understand the gravity of the situation. By taking part in this trial, you risk drawing the ire of both the nobility and whoever this Empress of Discord is. What are you planning? Lucio, I'm not planning anything. Please, do you honestly expect me to believe that you're doing this out of the goodness of your heart? Well, Scaled Lord, you actually are doing it for that reason. Is this what all Heavensborn are like? I don't like thinking about it that way. I just can't stand by while I see injustice taking place. Even if you're standing in my way, I'll do whatever it takes to save Aria. I wouldn't throw around such promises so loosely. I'm not. I will save her, Lucio. Anyways, it appears that I still have no idea who set that trap for Asta. Judging from the spell compendiums I have, neither Aria nor Beatrice could have set that trap. But the patron could also be a mage. That means that they could have set that trap too. Either way, it looks like I won't be getting any new information here, and I highly doubt the person who orchestrated this is any of the people I've met thus far. There's one last person I need to talk to. Shit, here we go. Wrathon, back alley.
Here we go. You make your way back to the alleyway that Tamora brought you to a month ago. It will be too conspicuous to bring the Kingsguard with you.
Oh shit! So he's losing his protection.
So they've hidden themselves in a building nearby. They gave Celeste an enchanted runestone to hold and channel her magic into. If she ever stops focusing her magic into it, the Kingsguard will be notified and they'll storm the building.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this. The eye taker is my prime suspect. Everyone else is an alibi and lacks a motive. Not to mention Eris was with Beatrice when she went missing. I don't want to suspect her, but her father is a criminal. And she still hasn't turned up since the massacre. All right. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
2.
Oh. What?
There's no one here.
Damn it. Of course he's not here. I betrayed him and I knew where his hideout was.
You take a close look at the desk he was sitting at during your previous visit. There's a thick layer of dust on it. It doesn't look like anyone's been here for a while. He must have moved his operation elsewhere the day you convicted Beatrice.
I guess there's no point in staying hidden anymore.
You see Celeste toss the Kingsguard's runestone onto the ground. A few seconds later, you hear the footfalls of soldiers rushing towards your location. Freeze in the name of the Weaver God! You see him freeze as he scans the room and sees no one else there. Be careful, sir. They appear to have turned themselves invisible.
They're not here, you idiot!
Oh. You let out a frustrated sigh as you take a seat on a chair nearby. A cloud of dust is launched into the air as you do so.
Hang on. Somebody might be formed. He had the last piece we needed. None of the other suspects had the means nor the motive to do this. He's probably long gone by now. It's over.
I'm sorry. But you did everything you could, didn't you?
But it wasn't good enough.
Part of you knew that it was a long shot. If he were involved in this, he'd definitely keep his head down.
What do we do now? There has to be someone who knows where he is. Wait a minute. Actually, there is one person who might know where he is.
What do you... Wait, you don't mean...
At this point, it's the only option we have.
Are you sure? You two aren't exactly...
I know, but I can't let my personal feelings get in the way of saving Aria. I'm not looking forward to seeing her again. At least that's what I keep telling myself. I'll have to process these feelings later. I have a job to do. Oh boy. Tomorrow law officers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You arrive at the office of Tamora's law firm. According to Aria, Tamora is still practicing. So it looks like she hasn't gone into hiding like the eye taker apparently did. And if anyone knows where he currently is, she will. You bring your hand up to knock on the door, but you stop for a moment. Sir? After everything that's happened, you still don't feel ready to face her. For the past month, all those things you said to her keep replaying in your mind. You feel the familiar warmth of Celeste's hand again. You take a deep breath and steel your resolve. You knock on the door. Every moment of silence thereafter fills you with anxiety and dread. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but I'm not currently accepting clients at... Cuthbert! She looks completely frozen for a while. Or her gaze narrows as she notices the Legion of Knights escorting you. Are you here to arrest me?
No, of course not. Can we come in?
Yes, of course. You take a seat inside the office, but you can't really think of anything to say. The Knights aren't really helping to alleviate the tension.
Hey, Celeste. Could you take the Knights outside and do a perimeter of the building?
What? But... Are you sure?
I am.
But what if something happens?
Celeste, we're in a populated building in the capital city of Wivengard. I think I'll be fine.
No, but... Sorry, you're right. I'll just
With a motion of her hand, the knights follow her out of the office. Right before she leaves, she waits at the door and looks at you for a while. But after a while, she realizes how long she's been staring and quickly closes the door.
Now then, let's get this over with. All right.
Talk to her.
Small talk.
Is Celeste okay? She seems a bit on edge right now.
Yeah, I think she's just been overprotective lately. I don't really blame her. I did almost die a few times in the last few days.
What?
It's a long story, and I don't think I'm even allowed to talk about it, especially not with you.
That last part came out with a little more disdain than you intended. Take a deep breath.
I received your letters.
Oh, did you?
I haven't got the chance to read them yet.
Of course, whenever you're not busy.
This is really awkward. But I was going to have this conversation sooner or later. Perhaps it would be best to be direct. There we go. Tamora's actions. Ms. Tamora, I trusted you.
Oh, I know.
I trusted you. I told you everything about myself. I put all of my hopes into you. And you lied to me. You told a criminal about the Eye of Horus. It took me years before I was comfortable enough to tell you about it. And you knew that. Why did you even adopt me? You could have just left me in Ornax and moved on with your life. Why would you pull me into this?
Sounds like she's trying to look for an answer, but nothing comes to her.
I've started thinking about what my life could have been like. Could have done so many things. I might have been able to move on from losing my mother. But you adopted me. You made my entire life focused around that one moment. Oh boy, Tamora's past.
I had a son once. Before you, I mean.
What?
I wasn't always a city person. I used to live in an old farm town just like McCoy's. My son and I used to run an old tea shop, just the two of us.
Wait, you ran a tea shop?
I know. It's ridiculous now that I think about it. But I was really happy back then.
What happened?
One night, a local nobleman had too much to drink at the local tavern. He barged into our shop and started destroying it with his magic. My son tried to stop him, but... The Inquisition swept that entire case under the rug, obviously. They said that the nobleman felt threatened and acted in self-defense.
She never told me about this before. What was his name?
It was Ryan.
Oh. Oh, that's weird. What did you do? What did you do after Ryan died?
I thought long and hard about what I wanted to do. I was hurt and blinded by rage, so I decided I would take justice into my own hands.
Wait, you didn't?
No. At the time, I thought that killing him would be too easy. I broke into his manor and found every incriminating document I could find. I found everything, from records of illegitimate children to plots he was making against other noble houses.
You don't think that this is the patron we're looking for? Or at least Celeste's father? Oh my God! It's too convenient, dude.
I released everything to the public. It absolutely ruined him. That's when I realized that there was a way to make them pay. You didn't have to harm or kill anyone. You could just beat them at their own game. You could use the rules and laws they made against them.
Just like an attorney.
Yeah, just like an attorney. When I realized that, I moved to the city and started studying law. I read every book there was to read about Weaverguard's laws, and I learned how to work the system. I started representing clients who were clearly being framed by the nobility, but I really didn't care about saving them. I just wanted to see the look on each noble. I just wanted to see the look on each noble's face when I implicated them with irrefutable evidence. But it got more difficult. As I started punching higher, the nobles got smarter and more influential. I continued to acquit my clients, but the trials got closer and closer each time. But I was arrogant, and I felt invincible. I thought that no matter what happened, justice would prevail. And then your mother's case happened. I never met someone that remarkable before. She had this way of making you feel happy, no matter what kind of mood you were in.
Yeah, I remember.
But I failed her, and I failed you.
Miss Tamora, I never once blamed you for what happened.
I know, but that doesn't change the fact that I couldn't acquit her. She was executed because I didn't do enough.
Tyrion Cuthbert.
When you asked me to train you to be an attorney, I was blinded by my desperation. I felt so alone and helpless. I wanted someone, anyone, to carry this burden with me. So how pathetic must I have been that I'd look for that in a grieving 10-year-old child? When I looked at you, all I wanted to see was myself. I saw a hurt and broken person who wanted revenge on the nobility. But I was too self-centered to realize that you were nothing like me. You care about people. You cared more about saving your clients than harming the nobility. I think I knew all along, but I just refused to see it. Maybe you were right about me.
What?
Maybe I was just using you to make myself feel better. I took you from your home and forced you to dedicate your life to my dream. Maybe I never really cared. If I did care about you, I would have never pulled you into a life like this. I'm sorry. And I can't begin to apologize for doing that to you.
The eye shows that her feelings are genuine. But does that even matter at this point?
Sure it does. I've been thinking long and hard about this. I want to forgive you, Miss Tamora, but I don't know if I can.
I don't blame you.
But I want to try.
She looks away from you for a moment as she wipes a single tear.
Miss Tamora.
No, don't call me that.
What?
If you can truly find it in your heart to forgive me, I want things to be different this time. I'm not your superior, nor your mentor anymore. We're equals now. So call me by my first name.
Okay. Ruby? Saying it feels really strange after all these years, but I hope I can get used to it.
So talk to her.
Right. The Eye Taker. Right. I almost forgot the entire reason why I came here.
What is it?
I didn't just come here to reconcile. I actually need your help with something.
Okay.
I need you to help me speak to the Eye Taker.
Tyrion.
I know, considering the circumstances, it would probably strain your partnership with him even more.
Tyrion.
But if you just tell me where he is, I'll do my best to make sure it doesn't get traced back to you.
Tyrion. The Eye Taker is dead.
What? I mean, we kind of figured it. We kind of figured it out after the last episode, but still, huh? What?
He died right after you convicted Beatrice. He was lynched by a mob of civilians.
What?
Everyone's saying that it was some sort of retaliation from House Frigga. Didn't you notice that he didn't send anyone after you?
But Eris said... Wait a minute. By the way, is your father still...
Oh, if you're worried about him, we've already had a conversation about you. I don't think he'll be accosting you anytime soon.
Oh, thank you. Then why would Eris say that?
Eris? Who's Eris?
What? You've met her before. She has long black hair and she wears a black dress. I suppose she really likes black. But anyway, she's the Eye Taker's daughter.
Tyrion, the Eye Taker's daughter has red hair.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
What? She was there when we spoke to him during Beatrice's trial.
That's right. What are you talking about? Uh-oh, that Discord thing.
Yep.
She was never at that meeting.
What? What is going on? She was clearly there. If it weren't for her intervention, the Eye Taker would have attacked at that very moment. Why am I remembering things differently?
I'm sorry, Lucio, but whoever this patron is, they have full ownership of her mind. They could have easily commanded her to forget signing the contract in the first place. That's probably why she can't remember what happened during the massacre.
No!
Tyrion, what's wrong? Why are you looking at me like that?
Uh-oh.
Part of me really hopes I'm wrong about this. Why are Ruby's memories different from yours? Ruby signed a blood contract.
Oh, shit.
That's the only explanation I can think of. But why? Her memories seem intact except for her memories of Eris. Since her disappearance, I've highly suspected that she was involved in this. Not only was she at the scene of the crime, she went missing at the same time that Beatrice did. But I never thought to ask one question. Who is... And that's where the sticking point is. Who is Eris Illmatter?
Drum roll. Do that again.
Eris
Drum roll, please.
Eris Illmatter is the Empress of Discord.
Take that!
A flood of memories come back to you.
Oh my god, we finally made it.
Warriors such as I must hone and develop our senses to survive in battle. Eventually, we develop the ability to sense enemies and anticipate danger. I'd heard that such senses are heightened when in the presence of extraplanar entities. I thought those stories were complete hogwash until I met you and Beatrice Frega's familiar.
Tyrion, I fought the little monsters and barely escaped with my life. But when I'm near Eris, none of those creatures come even close. I get this feeling. It's like I'm in front of a predator that I couldn't ever hope to beat. Every instinct I have tells me to run whenever she's close by. I'm terribly sorry. He's not usually like this. It's to be expected. I'm not sure why, but animals have always disliked me.
There's still very little I know about demons, so what's to say that one can't take the appearance of a human? Well, it's still a long shot. There is one way to find out for sure.
Tyrion, talk to me. What's wrong?
Ruby, I'm about to do something stupid. If I fall unconscious, I need you to call Celeste and tell her to contact Lord Asclepius or the Archduke.
What?
If I'm wrong about this, there's no way either of them will get here in time. But it's already late and the trial resumes tomorrow. I can't waste any more time traveling to either of their locations. Eris Illmatter, wherever and whatever you are, by the eye of Horus, I issue upon you a divine edict. Release thy guards and manifest your blood contract with Ruby Temora.
So, you finally figured it out, my dearest Tyrion.
This entire time, I've been chasing you.
You have. It's been so entertaining watching you scramble around.
You've been making contracts with people across Rivengard. You took control of Aria and Beatrice. But why? Why would you want to do any of this?
Oh, I can't possibly reveal all my secrets. This isn't the proper stage to have our final battle.
You!
I suppose that you've come this far. So how about I give you a little gift?
Ruby's blood contract has been added to the court record.
Upon signing this contract, Ruby Tamora grants the Empress of Discord access to her memories. At any time, the Empress may view any and all of Tamora's memories. In addition to that, the Empress may instantaneously change and alter her memories whenever she wishes. Signed with Ruby Tamora's name.
What was that?
Ruby, Eris Illmatter is a demon, and she's not just any demon. She's the Empress of Discord, and you signed a blood contract with her. That's why you can't remember anything about her.
What? Tyrion, I swear on my life that I didn't know anything about this.
I know. She probably tricked you into signing this, just like she tricked Aria.
Aria? What does the prosecutor have to do with this?
Come on, you two. I know things are kind of tense, but there's no need to... What are you holding? Is that a blood contract?
Celeste, Eris is the Empress of Discord.
What?
It was her the entire time. She tricked Aria into signing a blood contract with her, and she probably controlled her and Beatrice to orchestrate the entire massacre.
What?
Tyrion, this is crazy.
I know.
I know I was scared of her that one time, but how can Eris be a demon? She looks nothing like Morna.
I know how unbelievable it is, but I used my divine edict with her name. That wouldn't have worked unless she was a demon.
Yeah, I guess I can't disagree with that.
We need to contact the Grand General and immediately.
Oh, but if she's really a demon, is it even possible to arrest her? It's already been a day. For someone like her, that would be more than enough time to skip town. We'll need to speak with the Archduke about this. Thank you, Ruby. You've helped us more than you could ever know.
Yeah, of course.
Celeste, let's meet up with everyone. We'll need to discuss our next course of action.
Right.
You're about to leave Ruby's office when she stops you. Tyrion, have you been using the Eye of Horus lately?
Yeah. I can't say much about what I'm doing right now, but I am in the middle of a case.
It's just that...
What's wrong?
Never mind. I don't think it's my place to say anything. I think I'm just being my usual paranoid self. I'm not the one with the ability to read minds anyways. So if you're not seeing it, it's probably nothing.
Okay.
I know you can't tell me about what you're doing, and I have no idea what could possibly involve the Kingsguard, Steelwind, and the Empress of Discord. But just stay safe, okay? You're the only family I have left.
I will. I promise.
Thank you. You finally found the lead you've been looking for, but you're not sure where this will take you. Knowing what you know now, you're almost a little afraid of what might happen. Who is Eris? Why would she go into the trouble of orchestrating any of this?
Chaos?
She's not only impersonating the Eye Taker's daughter, she also pretended to be your friend. What's her goal in all this? Hopefully, tomorrow will finally bring you the answers you're looking for.
Is something wrong, Commander?
Don't play dumb with me. They told me what you really are. What's your game, demon? Why would you just deliver yourself to our doorstep?
Oh, shit, that's no good.
Oh, Oren. I put far too much work into this story to miss the final act. I can't wait to see how this ends.
You killed 3 people and enslaved an innocent girl. Is this all some kind of game to you?
That's exactly what this is to me. I'll admit, looking back, it does feel a bit derivative. But I think I've done enough to differentiate myself from those that came before. It's a shame about the timing of it all, though.
You're goddamn insane!
That took you long enough to notice. I guess the oafish Inquisition commander does have some observational skills after all.
Whatever. You just better not try anything.
You know I can't lie, so I'll reassure you. I promised I won't harm anyone while I'm in this prison.
Ugh.
We're finally approaching the climax, Tyrion. No more deductions. No more talking. No more god-awful teasing when we both know who was really behind this. It's just me and you.
Would you like to save your progress? You goddamn right I would.
Because you never know.
All right, yep. This is definitely a good time to skedaddle. So let us go back to intermission.
I cannot wait to return the next time, because this is it. The final battle. One giant epic battle to the death.
Oh boy. So what in God's name is going to happen? So I knew it was way too obvious, but I'm still happy about the way we got to it. But what's going to happen now? Tune in to find out. So until next time, I'm Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the package Andrew Steele.
We are the Steel Twins, and we are for real. Top guys out. Ciao.
Adios, muchacho.